Silas Merritt Robertson was born on April 27, 1948, to his parents James and Merritt Robertson. He is the youngest of 5 sons. Jimmy Frank was the oldest, followed by Harold, Tommy, Phil, then Si. He also had an older sister named Judy, and his younger sister Jan was born a few years after he was. When he was younger, his family moved from Vivian, Louisiana to Dixie, Louisiana, because his mom suffered a nervous breakdown and was diagnosed as manic depressive. Living in Dixie made it easier for her to get the help she needed. She ended up going in and out of the hospital and the state mental institution for a while. After living in Dixie for a while, they then moved to Gonzales, Louisiana during the second half of Si's senior year because his father took a job there. Si then ended up graduating from East Ascension High School with a bunch of strangers in May of 1966. After graduating high school, Si never had any interest in going to college, so he worked for his father as a welder's apprentice until Si's parents later made him go to college because they wanted all of their children to have the same opportunity in education. So Si started college at Louisiana Tech in the fall of 1967. After trying college for his first quarter of freshman year, he decided that he still didn't want to continue to go to college. And 2 weeks after he officially quit school, Si received draft papers in the mail. He went through extensive training and ended up being sent to Vietnam. His first day in Vietnam was on October 19, 1968, and he was there for a year. Si was stationed at Fort Devens for about 2 years and worked in medical supply. And while at Fort Devens, a friend set him up on a blind date with a girl named Christine. Si and Christine dated for a couple of years, and he finally asked her to marry him. Christine said no over and over again.
Were you? Oh, wait. Okay. Will you marry me? Wait a minute. Oh, here.
No.
Oh.
Christine turned him down for a while because she knew that she could not physically bear children, and she knew that Si eventually wanted children of his own. So after convincing her that it was okay and that they could always adopt children, Christine finally said yes. On April 7th, 1971, they married in a local courthouse. Later that year, he tried going back to college. He still hated it, so his wife told him to do what made him happy. So in November of 1972, Si enlisted into the Army again. They lived the next 16 months at Fort Knox, which is in Kentucky. During the 17th month, Si received orders that he was going back overseas, but this time to Germany. On August 30th, 1975, a miracle happened. Christine gave birth even after being told her whole life by many different doctors that it would be impossible for her. They gave birth to a baby girl, and they named her Teresa after Christine's father, Asa. Teresa Robertson was born at a military hospital in Germany. A few years later, they also had a son who they named Scott. Scott Robertson was born on December 18, 1977, at a military hospital on an Air Force base in San Antonio, Texas. In October of 1992, the Army transferred Si back to the United States. His daughter was in her senior year of high school on a U.S. air base, and they made the difficult decision to leave their 17-year-old daughter with friends and co-workers in Germany until she finished her senior year. After moving to be closer to his brother Phil, he was starting to be filmed secretly without him knowing, and he appeared in the first couple episodes of Duck Dynasty, and he wasn't even supposed to be a main character until he received feedback that everyone loved him, and thus his life of Duck Dynasty began.